What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a preview. We play Leipzig tomorrow. Motta and one of the players. Let's see who it's going to be this time. We'll speak in about, I don't know, 3-4 hours in Leipzig, before the game. So we'll get more information from both of them when the presser is over. But I'm pre-recording this. Also because the lineup is kind of set already according to the media. However, this is Leipzig, this is Champions League, this is the biggest test we will have this season so far. I think this will be more significant in terms of it's going to be more difficult. Roma at home and Napoli at home. I'm convinced about that purely because Leipzig are a very good team. They're very well set up as well. I think you can ask Real Madrid fans last season if anyone watched that game against Leipzig, and if you watched that game, and I don't know, I think everybody wondered how did Leipzig not went through on that high, and I think Real Madrid fans can attest to that because that was a fantastic game. But before we do that, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as always, hit that bell notification as well. But this is big, the Champions League, for me, it's a different tournament, we play Champions League football. We didn't do that last season. I think if you want to be a top club again, I've said it, I think Serie A is the most important thing. We need to get back up there in Serie A before we actually can think about, competing in Europe. Everything we do in Europe, for me, is extra this season. It's extra games, it's extra money, it's a learning curve for these players. Now, Leipzig are a very good team. You cannot disrespect Leipzig. They are a very, very good team, Their front line is relentless. Like, if you watch Leipzig, it's high pace. It's on the counter. A lot of times it's direct. Even if they don't counter and they have possession, they can play with Simons, with Sesko, with Nusa as well. Like, they have a lot of good. Openda, like, they have a lot of pace. They have a lot of technique. Sesko is a good player, a very good finisher. Actually a top finisher in my opinion. They are a very dangerous team. I think a lot of people rate Gertruida as well. So they are a good team. They beat Leverkusen away, I think 3-2 away from home on the opening day or the second game of the Bundesliga season. So they're no mugs. I know they lost to Atletico. Then again, Atletico is also not a team you can mug off easily. I think they're third in the league as well at this moment in time. I don't know, maybe 3-4 points off the top. Didn't lose in the league, lost against Atletico. I get it, but it's gonna be a very intenseful game. It's gonna be quote unquote easier for us. I think if we want to play our style, it's gonna be more easier. Because Leipzig are not gonna set up deep, and even if they set up deep, they're not really that type of team that will do that to perfection, in my opinion, because their intention is to attack. So it will cause us problems, 100%. They will press us, and that's what we talked about. How will that backline shape up? Will it be Kalulu on the right? Will it be Kalulu as a center back? All those questions, we talked about it. What will it be? Is that the good idea to set up a backline who are not good in possession, what so on? That will be very interesting tomorrow. How will Bremer how will Bremer look? Because we are asking Bremer now to play up from the back, basically. How will it look against a team that will actually will press us on a consistent basis? So all these things are going to be interesting. Is that midfield going to be able to control a game? How is Yildiz going to cope with it? Nico Gonzalez, because I think these guys are going to play. I think the lineup is going to be Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Gatti, Bremer, Cambiaso, Locatelli, McKennie, Gonzalez, Yildiz, Koopmeiners, Vlahovic. I think that's going to be the lineup. I don't think he's going to bench McKennie. I don't think he is going to bench Gatti, So I think that's going to be the lineup. So is Nico Gonzalez going to, cope with the intensity of that game? How is Vlahovic going to react? Is Yildiz going to be in that game? A lot of question mark. Like, this is going to be a very good test, because I think it's going to go either way. I think we will dominate that game in terms of, like, we will win it, and we will come out of that game, we will be like, wow, that was impressive. Or excuse me, it will be a complete disaster, because, like it or not, as a team, in terms of, like, this is who we are. This is our identity. We have been doing this for, I don't know, a year or two. Leipzig are further ahead. You know, you're playing a team who are further ahead. Even PSV, and at times it looked like PSV had some patterns of play that we still didn't really had to a consistent basis. However, the quality was lower, so at the end of the day, we coped with it and we dealt with it quite, you know, actually with no issues at all. But Leipzig is further ahead. If you actually watch Leipzig play, they are very firm. Like, they know what they need to do, and it's very consistent throughout the season. It's the same thing. They are well drilled, you know. So I think it will be a game we'll come out and be like, wow, that was just amazing. We dominated. That was perfect. Or it will be a game we will be looking at and we will be like, damn, what just happened? We got played off the freaking park and we lost that game. You know, I don't think there will be a middle ground. I think we will lose, and big time, in terms of like we had no chance of winning that game, or we will win and we actually dominated. I don't think there will be a middle ground. So prediction wise, I'm going to go with a 1-0. Like, it could be a 1-0 dominant win as well. I think a 1-0. But this is the big test. You know, we talked about, or the media talked about, clean sheets and all those things. That's cool and all, and that's there. You cannot take that away. But this is different. You know, this is not Genoa sitting back. It's not Empoli sitting back, or Roma sitting back, or Napoli sitting back. That's not that. That's not even PSV trying to attack, because PSV tried to attack because that's who they are. We talked about it. That said it. However, they were missing players, and at one point, even like if you're a coach and that's your idea, I get it. You should be looking at how the game was going, and you should have tweaked something, because you're not gonna win that game against us like that. He didn't, so it was very easy for us. But again, this is next level. This is next level, you know. And again, people will say, oh, it's just Leipzig. You know, if you haven't watched Leipzig, I agree. It's like saying, oh, it's just Stuttgart. If you haven't watched Stuttgart, and we'll play Stuttgart. These are good teams. These are very good tests for us, because Leipzig is a seasoned Europa League team, European team right now. Like it or not, have been playing in Europe for a while, and they're very good players. So massive test for us, you know, massive test, I think, for Di Gregorio. I think this will be the first big test of the season. That back line, will it stand still? You know, will it hold up? Big test. Up top, will you be good enough to dominate defenses, to control games, to take the game to opponents? Now there will be some space. So a lot of things we will probably take away from that game. A lot of things to talk about, you know, even if we win or if we don't win. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of narratives coming out from that game probably, and so on and so on. But I'm excited. You know, this is a Champions League. You know, it's the first season of a new Juve, and we're going to learn. You know, we're going to learn the hard way, and I have absolutely no issue with that. You know, how it goes, it goes. I think there's a path we're on as a team, as a group, so on. You know, name it, and we will have good moments. We will have very bad moments, highs, lows. We just need to take it and deal with it and learn from it. So in the next week, let's say it's not in that order, I guess. But if it's Leipzig and you get actually schooled, and you go to Aston Villa the following match day, for example, it's kind of the same style in terms of like it's high intensity, it's direct, and you cope with it much better than you did with Leipzig. Then it's like, okay, you learn from that game, you know, which was a disaster. Now we can move on. That's a sign of, okay, this team is willing to learn and accept their deficiencies and work on it, you know. So I think that's how I view the Champions League. Anyway, want to win. So that's my prediction. Let me know your prediction in the chat, in the comments, excuse me. Like, subscribe, and I'll be back in my normal settings post game, hopefully to talk about a win, and then Thursday, the first live show in about a week again, because I'm finally back home. So stay tuned for that as well. And that's it for me. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow post game. Ciao.